How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech, and also to another tech news video where I go over all of the latest news that happened in the tech world to keep you guys up to date on everything. Now, unfortunately, we did miss Monday's tech news video. It's a public holiday in South Africa, so I took a bit of time off. Now, unfortunately, we missed Monday's video because it was a public holiday in South Africa, but we are back today to keep you guys up to date on everything. So starting off, recently we have been talking quite a lot of the Ryzen 7 5800X3D, which is AMD's answer to the best gaming CPU on the market. Now, AMD does claim it has a 15% performance increase over the 5900X in gaming. But recent Geekbench 5 scores are saying something completely different and not in a good way, unfortunately. In a single core, the 5800X3D scored 1633, and in multi-core 11250. Now, the single cores, we did expect it to be lower as the core clocks are lower because of the lower voltage limits, but the 1500X scored 14,006 in the multi-core scores. That is a 25% deficit compared to the 5800X3D, not a 15% gain like AMD claimed. Now, of course, the Geekbench isn't the best test to really show the performance, especially because I did claim gaming, but it is currently what we have, and it doesn't look the best so far. Now, to make matters worse, is the 5800X3D and the 5900X are basically the same price, and you do lose that productivity performance. Now, another big slap in the face of AMD is that the 12700K is 17% cheaper than the 5800X3D, while only giving a 7% gain in gaming. But of course, we'll keep you guys up to date on everything related to the 5800X3D, so stay tuned for that. Yesterday, NVIDIA announced the new H100 Hopper GPU, which we have talked about previously. But with this one, it does have up to 16,896 FP32 cores, 8 gigs of HBM3 memory, and a staggering 700 watts TDP. Now, for us gamers, that isn't really that big of a deal, but for the rest of the world, this is huge, as the new architecture boosts dynamic programming up to 40 times using a new DPX instructions. The dynamic programming is used in industries like the healthcare, robotics, quantum computing, data science, and more. Now, the details of how dynamic programming and the DPX work is quite interesting and also very complicated. So to explain that will take an entire video, and it will take about 2 hours long. So we'll leave it up to you. If you want to find out a bit more, you can just go YouTube it, and there should be some videos regarding that, but it's going to be quite interesting. Now, also announced by NVIDIA are their latest workstation GPUs. Among these are the A5500 desktop version, which will match the specs of the RTX 3080 Ti. But where the gaming card uses the GDDR6X memory, the A5500 will use GDDR6 EEC memory. The A5500 laptop version will have 7,424 cores and 16 gigs of that GDDR6 memory. Some of the other models are the A1000, A2000, A3000, which will feature 4 gigs, 8 gigs, and 12 gigs. Now, while the RTX A4500 will be using 16 gigs of memory and also a cut down GA104 GPU with 5,888 CUDA cores. The lowest of these RTX cards are the A500 with only 2,048 CUDA cores and 4 gigs of memory. Now, unfortunately, no pricing available yet, but we'll keep you guys up to date on that as well. And then next up, Lapsus. They're just everywhere currently. The hacking group's just going crazy. Now, if you haven't heard about that yet, Lapsu is a group that hacked NVIDIA, Samsung, Vodafone, and plenty more. And even they hacked the South African Credit Bureau, here where I lived. All 45 million people hacked. So they're on a roll, and not a good roll. But now the latest tech giant hacked by them, and I actually joked about this, was either going to be like Apple, Microsoft, or like AMD. And it turned out Microsoft was next. Now, Microsoft did say that they could actually interrupt the hack from who they call Dev0537, but Lapsu claimed that they did get a partial source code for Microsoft products like Bing, Bing Maps, and Cortana. Now, Microsoft did say in a blog post, our team was already investigating the compromised account based on the threat intelligence when the actor publicly disclosing their intrusion. There's a public disclosure escalated our actions, allowing our team to intervene and interrupt the actor mid-operation, limiting a broader impact. So currently it does look like the hacking group is just out there for extortion, pure extortion, where they're claiming that they even pay some employees to help them gain access to databases. So again, we'll see who's next. I mean, already some of the big guys was hacked and there's only a few left really. So unfortunately, this hacking group is not one of the white hackers where they're actually doing it for good. These ones, yeah, definitely not. But we'll see what's going to happen next. All of our credit info is already out there, so not the best. And then next up, CD Projekt Red is going to make a new Witcher game. This is one of the best news out of the year so far. The company made a tweet yesterday that said a new saga begins with a cat-like Witcher medallion in the snow. Now, this suggests that the new Witcher will be from the school of the cat and not the wolf like Geralt. In the books, the school of the cat does not have the policy to stop them from involving themselves in the continents of politics. CD Projekt Red also stated further that they will not be using their Red engine to build the game, and instead, I'm very happy for this, they're going to move to the Unreal Engine 5 for the new Witcher game. That's going to be really good. All the improvements that they made with Unreal Engine 5 is mind-boggling. Unfortunately, no further details have been announced yet, but of course, we'll keep you guys up to date on that, and we're really looking forward to the new Sega for Witcher. Now, on a completely different note, also a weird one, Microsoft and Sega have teamed up for the new upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, and have decided to do a special edition Series S console. The new console itself seems fine with a big circle-style ring around the fan event, but where it gets a bit weird is that the remote will apparently have fur on them. So yes, they'll have full fluff. A lot of people will be happy about that. Now this of course is obviously a marketing stunt, seeing as more people are just going to talk about that. I mean, we're talking about that and a lot of other news agencies as well. But now if you actually would want one, then all you need to do is enter the competition to win your own fluffy piece of a gaming history. Now we will leave a link in the video description if you want to do that, but yeah, there's your fluffy history piece right there. And then next up, yesterday Apple experienced a massive outage in basically all of the company. Users started experiencing issues with their apps early in the morning and affected Apple Music, iCloud, iMessenger, Apple Maps, Apple Card, Apple TV Plus, and the App Store, FaceTime, Siri, and more. So pretty much everything. Even the Apple stores went offline and the employees were forced to actually whip out a piece of paper and take down notes for the clients to actually work. Now it does seem like everything is back to normal now, more or less, but it is quite bad that almost the entire Apple ecosystem went offline just like that. Was it maybe Lapsus doing their thing or something else? No word yet, but it's definitely not good. But I mean, it does happen to everybody now and then, but we'll see. And then next up, Windows 11 is a pretty controversial OS. A lot of people like it, some don't. I only switched one of my systems to Windows 11 now and already gave some issues. So I'm back to Windows 10 on that one. But I mean, at first, if your PC didn't meet the requirements of a TPM2 and you didn't have a 8th generation CPU or a higher, you couldn't get it. Then Microsoft made workarounds for that very issue, and now it seems like they're going to brand you with another watermark on your PC if your PC does not meet the requirements for Windows 11. And even virtual systems are currently getting the watermark. Now, we're not sure if it's going to actually be in the final build, but in some of the test builds, it is there. Now, this is definitely not necessarily the route they need to go for. It does limit a lot of people, and a lot of people don't necessarily want a watermark on their system again. It's so annoying sometimes, but I mean, they do have that many requirements if a system is not 8th gen or higher, or it does have the TPM2. It's just a mess overall, and I mean, they want to switch everybody over, but if this is the case, then it's just going to piss a lot of people off and not really go to Windows 11. I mean, 8th gen isn't that old yet, so I think a lot of people are still rocking anything below that. But we'll see what's going to happen. And then lastly, Starlink is raising its prices. So instead of paying the $500 upfront fee for the hardware and $99 per month for the service, you will now need to pay $600 for the kit and then $110 per month. Now, unfortunately, even people who have already paid upfront the $500 for the kit will now need to pay an additional $50 to get their hardware. Now, the company says that the sole purpose for this adjustment is to keep pace with the rising inflation, which does make sense. Now, the pricing does seem to separate from the Starlink Premium though, which is a staggering $2,500 for the hardware and $500 per month for the service fee. So I hope they keep it like that. But it also, again, still no word yet if South Africa is actually going to get a Starlink. I really want it, then I can actually move out of the city, which I'll be happy to do, but hopefully in a couple of years at least. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you do enjoy the video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always. Also, all of the topics will be linked in the video description. And I will check all of you guys on Friday again for another tech news video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll check you next time. Cheers, guys.